Good evening, everyone.
Hello.
Hello, how are we doing? So we played, I thought I'd try and be as professional as possible. Evening, Lynn. Welcome home.
Good evening. Yes, it's
Yes.
cold.
Welcome back.
It's not cold, it's roasting. Evening.
Well, my sunburn's keeping me warm just now, but once that wears off, I'm good.
Evening, Debs. Hope you're well. Evening, Helen.
That's
Likewise,
a
hope
sunburn.
you're doing fine. Yeah. As we said the other day, you can bring the lass out of Scotland, but
Yeah, I just do pink, a wee bit of golden.
Yeah.
Here, Lynn, did you end up buying some Walker's shortbread?
No, $5. No, plenty of nice things. A lot of key lime biscuits and stuff over there. So we bought a pile of those home with us. We're just going up the biscuit aisles to say have some with a cup of tea, and it was like Walker's shortbread.
Yeah, can't get enough of this stuff.
Yeah, it gets everywhere, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
And it was a superstore. It was a mid-size supermarket kind of thing as well. So I was like, wow.
Yeah. Well, I played the video at the start of this to try and be really professional and come in with a nice intro, and I don't think anybody was watching. They might have got but you can catch it later. It's on the page, guys. Evening, Scott. Evening to Barbara and Jill as well. And good morning, Mark. Really enjoying Mark's videos. Him trying to find a spiritual stone. Trying being the operative word at the moment, but it gave us a good chuckle the other night. Very interesting video. And I'm going to say now, much braver than I would be, because I don't think I would be trying to hack my way through kind of jungle territory, knowing what might be lurking there. So yeah, if you haven't watched it, it's well worth a watch. It's on the Paranormal New Zealand YouTube page. I'm sure there's links on their Facebook too as well. So well worth a watch, as all their videos are. And yeah, Lawrence is saying I would never go into dense forest. So yeah, but yeah, really interesting. So we kind of have got an agenda for tonight, but obviously, as always, folks, if you've got any questions or anything you want to bring up, just give us a shout. Rake Castle, I think, is probably the first that's on the list that I've got that we did. I was trying to work out if we did Rake before or after, because I've been to Rake a couple of times recently. So yeah, evening, Eileen. And yeah, so Rake was really interesting. You were there, obviously, Lynn, for our first visit. What was really interesting for me was that we didn't get much on the rods, but we were getting a heck of a lot on the equipment. So if you know Rake Castle, in the tower itself, we were really not getting a lot of rod activity at all, but we were getting K2 hits, cat balls going off. We did a ghost box session. We used the Scottish Paranormal app. We picked up some French on it. And the castle was originally there for the De Rates. That's why it's called Rate. The De Rates, who spoke, were Norman knights and spoke an old form of French. So that was really fascinating. And I think, Hannah, I'm not putting you in the spot here to try and remember, but I think you thought you picked up Gaelic. Was that the one you thought you picked up Gaelic?
Yeah, I was hearing some Gaelic words, and amongst it was when questions were being asked, if I remember rightly. I think when I remember hearing like the word USA come through as if like, so USA is like the emphatic version of oo, which is you. So somebody asked the question like something like, who is it, you are you there, or what's your name, or something like that, and I heard USA come through, as if somebody was maybe like pointing at someone, or so
Yeah, it's fascinating to get these other languages coming through, and
yeah.
we also did another visit to Ray a couple of weeks afterwards with some guests from America, and again we were getting these French words and connections coming through. So really, really interesting. I'm just going to pop this up now, Lynn, before it vanishes. Mark is saying he's really enjoying your holiday videos, which we will talk about more in a little while. Unfortunately, I've been battling with those videos all week, trying to get the vocals up. But every time I put the vocals up, the fans come up as well. So I'm not clever enough to work out how to take the fans out of the audio without it sounding extremely strange.
Invest in a Bluetooth microphone, I think. Colin's
Yeah.
so soon I point a camera at and he just goes, ooh.
They were really, really good, and I do think that Colin's rod sessions were absolutely brilliant. I think he's been quite sneaky. I've seen him going off to the side in investigations and using the rods. I saw him at Rate do that, and he's obviously been doing. He's been busy practicing.
He went in a police uniform. It was a different character. It's like I'm this person. I'm in charge, kind of thing. So you take him out of a police uniform. He's quiet, no less stubborn, but he's quiet.
No, but I thought it was really good. To be fair, the noise of the fans was going to dominate it.
Not have done it without the air movement. The humidity in Key West is you're only 90 miles from Cuba and the Bahamas, kind of thing. So the humidity is. It wasn't as warm as it should be in the summer. It's about 10 degrees cooler, but the humidity that gets you, because you sweat and the sweat dries your skin, that cools your body down. But if you've got humidity, it doesn't evaporate, so you're just a soggy mess and you're hot. And you're like, oh. Yeah, but it's fun to do it with like mittens and a hat and hand warmers.
And no midges.
We're hand warmers and hats the first time we did Rate, just before we went as well. It was really cold that night. And that I've done Rate a few times. Was that your first time, Liam?
Yeah.
And that is the most activity I've seen at Rate with it we've got. So it'll be interesting. We'll go back again as a group to do it. We did get some in the SLS, but Colin had terrible problems at Rate. We've never had that with before. The SLS, sometimes it freezes and you've got to reboot it, but it was just constantly playing up. We did get something. So that in itself is something as well.
Yeah. I mean, it was really, really interesting that, as I said, it's the first investigation in a long time where you kind of what we almost call our trusty rods were really not. There wasn't a lot of energy. We've got thoughts behind that there was a controlling male there and whatnot. So, for anyone that doesn't know the story of Rate, basically there was a massacre at the castle. There was two feuding families. The family that were the Cummings family that were in the castle invited. I'll get this wrong. It's either the Mackenzies or the Macintoshes. Apologies to both Macintoshes. Thanks, Lynn. To a banquet when they were going to slaughter them. However, the daughter of the clan chief of the Cummings was in love with one of the Macintoshes, and she told him basically. So they came prepared. They slaughtered everybody, slaughtered all the Cummings. The clan chief managed to escape up the stairs. He chased his daughter up the stair. She jumped out the window, holding on for dear life. And it said that he basically cut off her hands and she fell to her death. And she's been there ever since. So that's the story, the tragic story of Rate. So yeah, definitely. Yeah. Okay, so Rate, really interesting place. A bit off the road. You can easily miss it, but it is open through the day, certainly. Here we go, Eden Sheila. So yeah, Rate was fascinating, and we went back to Rate. Some of you will know. In fact, it's just myself that was on. So Rick McCallum from Hollywood Ghost Hunters, he was coming back across with some friends. So he had Kat Hobson with him, who she's involved in Paranormal Experienced and Fate magazine radio in the States, along with Mikey Thompson, who's the founder of SoCal Apparition Research Society. So Mikey, we're hoping to get on for a chat, hopefully at some point next month. And Laurie, Julie, and we also had Kimberly, who's a friend of William Becker's, over. And we took them to Ray. That was one of the places we went. And Kate certainly had a very interesting session on the rods in the rain. But again, we got kind of K2 activity and whatnot again inside the tower, which was really, really interesting. And we took those guys to a few places while they were here. So we kind of went into Chapel Yard here in Inverness, which we've never investigated. And that was quite interesting. Got some interesting activity in there. Rick made the mistake of sitting on one of the graves. His K2 immediately went to red. He asked the question, "Are you happy with me sitting on here?" Red. He asked, "Do you want me to leave?" Red. So he did. So that was interesting. So yeah, folks, don't sit on graves. It's the moral of the story there. But yeah, they had a good time. Took them to Loch Ness, Clava Cairns, out to the Clutie Well as well. So we had a good couple of days with them, and they looked after us as well. They fed us for all our efforts as well. So we're grateful to them. I said hopefully we'll get some of them on, but certainly I've approached Mikey to see if he'll come on. When he was over here, he said he was up for it. So we'll hopefully get him on, and he's done some great locations in the States. So yeah, really, really looking forward to catching up with him again, and hopefully we'll be able to quiz him a bit on his experiences stateside. So while we're on the subject of stateside, we'll just go to Robert the Doll, Lynn. Robert the Doll. Oh, he's here.
He'll be joining Liam at any tabletop things he's going to be doing as well. So you can see him in person. He's a limited edition. Limited edition. So yeah, Robert the Doll. It's fascinating. Believe what you will of its hype. He's been well known in Key West well before he's been known around the world for being haunted. And it's a part of the story is it's a famous catchphrase for all kids that are doing something naughty that they would say in Key West. It's not me, Robert did it. He's been well known. So Robert the Doll was given to a little boy. He's originally a Steiff doll, and they must have liked full-size toddler dolls back in the early 1900s, because we went to a older house and they had a girl doll that was sitting up in the bed. We went to the bedroom, the size of a toddler, so they must have liked their full-size dolls back then. So it was in different clothes. It was a Steiff doll, so he must have inherited the sailor suit later. He's given to his boy Robert Jean Otto, and Robert Jean named the doll Robert, and from that point on he wanted to be known as Jean. So there was Robert the doll, and Jean was known as Jean for the rest of his life. He played with Robert till he left to go to art school at 18, and he didn't come back until his mother was ill, and she eventually died. He was married by this time, and he decided to stay in Key West in the house. From that point on, there was a personality change in Jane. He got Robert back out of the attic. He set up little furniture, miniature furniture. He had tea parties. He spent a lot of his days with Robert. He started to treat his wife badly. And when he painted, he would have Robert in his painting room, and people would say they would see Robert moving in front of the windows in his house as well. So there's a lot of history to the Robert the Doll story in Key West, well before it's been known around the world. So it's a fascinating story, and there continues to be stories. The museum, the guy that took us round the fort before the ghost hunting, did say that the museum had made up to ask permission, so you don't need to ask him permission to take a photo with Robert. They just ask you to be respectful, and we always are. We always are, because there's a lot of people like Claver Cairns. They take a stone away for Claver Cairns. People associate any bad luck to that thing. So there's always stories coming back and letters appearing saying, "Please forgive me, Robert the Doll, for not being respectful, because this has happened and I'm now saying sorry." So it's a bit like Claver Cairns kind of thing. But I was respectful. We didn't get in any activity around Robert in Fort Martello. Stop. Cats, toddlers a fight. But we started to get interaction. We think a young woman in our early 20s was, we think, a nurse, because we got history background. The fort was used as the outbreak of yellow fever in the late 1800s, and the fort was used as a ward, basically. The top tower, the level of the citadel we were on, just basically a big wide square. So we asked, was she a nurse? We got positive on rods, Colin did. And we said, you can follow us around if you want. When we finished with Robert Doll, went into the citadel. And we got cat ball activity. I put one at the main door out into it. So we were just starting, and the cat ball went off, and so Colin started asking if she'd come with us. And then when we went back into the rooms and the walls, where allegedly it's the coolest room, where they store bodies, but oh my gosh, if that's the coolest room, I would not like to be in there when they were storing bodies. And she followed us back, and the guide was starting to round Abdi up where time was up. And he said, "Oh, that's interesting. We often get the name Peggy reported." So he went away and we grabbed an extra 5 minutes and said, "There's this Peggy," and the rods stayed still. And Colin then asked, did she know Peggy? And the rods crossed for affirmative. So that was really interesting. So we reported that back to them as well, that she'd known Peggy, but she wasn't Peggy. So yeah, it was good. It was interesting. It was well worth doing. So yeah.
Yeah, I think as Mark pointed out, the videos were great. It was great to watch the videos with envy, and yeah, really, and it's cool that. I mean, I can't think of anywhere in Scotland that allows that kind of approach. So yeah, it's. I mean, I so wish there was places over here that kind of approach.
There's a lot of places you have to pay. Obviously, the wee walk around was like doing the old jail in St Augustine. It was much like that. We got longer in St Augustine. It was just an investigation. It was like a history tour. Then we got time. If you paid extra, you got time to investigate afterwards.
Yeah.
But there's places dotted. You think of America as a pretty young country, but there's like a lot of history there.
Yeah. Fascinating, and
it's probably a once in a lifetime for us as well. We've been going to Florida, not every year, but going to Florida for 20 years now, and that's the first time we've made it doing the Keys.
Right.
So yeah, probably we'll go somewhere else next time and get something.
Cool. Can't wait to see where you go next. Yeah. I'll be going to Dingwall.
Yeah. Might be Norway next year. I don't think they're big in ghosts in Norway. But.
No, I'm trying to think. Who were those YouTube guys? Were they not from?
No, Denmark.
Were they Denmark? There was Danish TV. Was it? Aye, I've got a funny feeling those other guys had done somewhere in Norway.
Okay.
But I might be wrong. Connected to World War II.
Yeah, okay. They're still very religious in Norway, outside of Oslo. Yeah.
Right.
Everything shuts on a Sunday. You get a bus once an hour. So I don't think they're going to be much into.
Probably
ghosts.
not. Eileen says go to California next time.
Well, I have been to California in 2001, but that was long before I was in the group. Yeah. Winchester House. Must do the Winchester House.
Yeah. Well, you'll not be doing the Conjuring House.
I mean, it's a say you could go to Rhode Island.
Stop and do that. I've seen the postings, but I've not caught up to the
Oh
videos.
boy.
Oh,
It's a good read.
yeah, it's a good read.
It's a good read. It's probably hard to summarize other than that the owner appears to be having some kind of mental breakdown.
Okay.
But nobody can quite work out, is it genuine? Is it all an act? Is it an act to actually try and add to the story of the house? Basically, she's taking instruction from one of the ghosts in the house. So the ghost's telling her that this employee's stolen from her. You've got to get rid of him. She's obviously, Jason Hawes has done a video on it. Obviously, he's always done a couple of videos on it now. She then accused Jason Hawes of being involved in some form of assassination attempt. That he turned up in the middle of the night, when in fact the video footage that she's produced was a group that she had let into the property that night, and the group have come forward and said, yeah, that was us.
Mm-hmm.
So she knew all about it. So yeah, it's just it seems, I don't know if it's greed. The prices have been hiked up. There's a lot of talk of fakery taking place at the location now. Yeah, it's a hard one, and basically she just, anybody says anything against her, she threatens them with lawyers. So she's made a lot of people redundant. She hasn't paid their wages. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's going to end well. Yeah. Yeah. Just seeing what Eileen's saying there, the spirit, yeah. Yep. Yeah.
She's talking to the animals in the woods as well. They're helping her.
One, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I haven't seen that one yet. Thanks.
No,
But
she's been talking to the animals in the woods. They're telling her what to do too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, she does. Oh, a lot of money.
Yeah. Yeah. Just the whole thing just seems dodgy from start to finish. How she managed to get the property. And yeah, I think there's worries now that actually for the long term, even upkeep of the property, that they reckon there's work needs to be done. And the advice that certainly Jason Hawes was giving is to stay as far away from her and the property as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So hopefully it'll come to a head, and hopefully the house will be saved. She'll get help she clearly needs, and things can get back to normal with it. But yeah, it's a shame. It's all over the internet. It's all over YouTube. Every paranormal YouTuber under the sun is putting videos out about it. So there's plenty to watch and read. So there you go. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, that has crossed my mind that actually what she's trying to do is write the next chapter in the lore of the house, in the fact that she's become possessed and whatnot. But I don't know. but yeah, it's all a bit ugly, and it comes back down to this whole thing, isn't it? With all these kind of properties like East Drive and that as well, and all that. When you go into this, it's a haunted property. That's a lot of pressure, and to deliver. And yeah, apparently the Conjuring House in the basement, there's now a blocked off room, and they think that in that blocked off room, that might be like a control center. That's one of the possible rooms, so which you can watch everything on camera, but also, create sounds and whatnot.
That would make sense. The way she's pricing it as well, it seems like it's very much aimed just for the bigger YouTubers who, have no issue with faking activity just to get the views in. Like, it's completely unattainable for anyone normal to go and pay that sort of money to hire the place now.
Yeah. Be interesting, Helen, to know what you thought of East Drive. I've spoken to a few people who've been there. Majority of people have not been impressed by it, but I did speak to one set of individuals that were. Scariest thing in East Drive is the woman next door. Is that the one that knocks on the wall? Allegedly.
We have been tempted to book in to go just to sort of get our own opinion of it.
Just for experience.
Yeah, just to kind of see.
Yeah, Carol, apparently you've got to meet Carol. Yeah, part of me says, yeah, you should do these kind of places, but there's a lot of more genuine places as well. I think that, but yeah, it's.
I would only do it if it was just the group, they with a mixture of people.
Right. Okay. She screams at you. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Carol.
Yeah, apparently.
Apparently, Carol. Yeah. Yeah. Folklore. Yeah. Yeah, I think when a certain TV show did a lot of fakery in East Drive, that was kind of the end of it for me. Yeah, being dragged upstairs, and kitchen knives being transported from kitchens to bedrooms. Yeah, if you're going to do that, folks, don't have a live feed so everybody can see you doing it. I don't know if it's still on the internet, but I've seen the footage where you can clearly see the knives in his pocket as one of the crew walks upstairs with it. So yeah, and there's absolutely no way it was a camera cable that pulled the other guy up the stairs neither. But hey ho, I better watch yourself. I'm living on dangerous grounds tonight. I'm getting sued by everybody. Yeah, Eileen, you better be careful as well. Yeah. Evening, Tina. Yeah, rope around the waist, that one. Yeah. Camera cable. Yeah, it is embarrassing. Absolutely. 100% embarrassing. It's just, and the thing is, they're all being called out now by all the, the other guys on YouTube and that there's quite a few good debunkers out there now who are calling them out, which is good. And I don't think they can afford to sue everybody. So, well, maybe they can. Now they live in a big mansion and whatnot. But hey ho. Anyhow, what else did we get up to last month? Oh, we were at the Thurso Midsummer Carnival. So we were invited up there by Kerry from Spellbound Caithness. So we had a great night up there, meeting lots of folk. We had the doll with us. And usual reaction, some people wouldn't come near the table. Well, to be fair, I think most people were pretty brave. So yeah, it was really good. And then the next day, Kerry suggested St Mary's Chapel to us, which dates back to the 1100s. It's got links, I think, to the Vikings, and there's Pictish graves nearby as well. So we took the long walk out. Well, it's not a long walk, but it's not the easiest walk, especially if you're in trainers and it's soaking wet. But it was really interesting to go there. obviously did a live on Facebook, did a session with the rods. Audio and K2 had nothing at all. But yeah, really, really interesting site. And certainly if we're up there as a team, I would like to go back to it again and have another nosy around it. So yeah, that was pretty cool. And then of course we were being at the farmhouse again. So I'll let Kyra and Richie do some talking now because it was their first time there.
Yeah, I mean it's an amazing property. It's a shame to see it the way that it is, but we had a quiet night. Our team. The other team seems to have more activity, but 3 of us on our team had never been there before. So my thought was kind of that, I mean, there's a theory that there's a spirit there who's very protective of the house. So we probably wouldn't be too keen that there were new people in this house again that he'd never met and didn't really want to communicate with us, because the other team were getting quite a lot of activity and they'd all been there before. So that was really interesting.
Yeah. What I found really fascinating was that independently, all the spiritual people in the team picked up on the same individual in the same corridor watching. Yeah, which I found really, really fascinating, because I know that he's hadn't been talking. The two groups hadn't been talking to each other, yet you were still picking up on the same. And they were very standoffish this time around.
It was really strange actually when we were all in that living area. Where I was standing, I could see both hallways, and there was someone in each hallway. It felt like we were very closed in. I could see them both. It matched exactly what the people who'd been there before and picked up things were describing, which you didn't know at the time, and it just felt a little intimidating. It didn't feel threatened or anything, but you just felt like you were being watched from all angles.
Which hallway was it?
Well, it was both. It was the main hallway, but also in the, I suppose, the extension. So from the lounge room back the way to the bedrooms at the back over on the far side, that was very exactly at the same place, and the owner, he came in and he confirmed that actually where the guys were sensing this person was watching them was where somebody has physically seen a person
In the back bit.
in the back bit. Yeah, in the back bit, round the back. So if you're in the room with the TV, but you're looking back down from there towards the bedrooms at the back end there, yeah. So it was basically standing as if he was going to come in and out of a bedroom.
That's
basically.
interesting. I've been there without Colin, been there with Colin when the twice with the SLS has picked up stick figures in the corridor near the kitchen, but never picked anything up through that way.
No, it's really interesting because again, what Lindsay was picking up was a guy in boots, knee-length boots, kind of. She thought possibly Polish, but we're thinking possibly German, World War One. The description sounds right. It's history-wise with the prisoner war camps. There was a World War One camp, as you know, and there was a World War Two. But the World War Two one was slightly different. I think it was more a lump timber. Yeah. So yeah, it really, really was interesting.
I did try calling out a little bit in German. I'm on the early stages of learning German, so it's not very good. Didn't get any responses, but maybe by the time we go back again, I'll give it another bash and see if it works.
Yeah.
Well, the word is the officer stayed in the farmhouse. I reckon if there was any prisoners working on the farm, they probably would have got into the kitchen for food and thing. I would have doubted they'd been staying in the place.
I've got a twist on the story, though.
Okay.
Part of that building is actually taken from other buildings that were part of the prisoner of war camp. So when basically what we were told when we were there last time was when the prisoner of war camp closed, all the locals were allowed to go in and basically take whatever they did. So basically, all over that area, there's buildings with parts of prisoner of war buildings added on, or whatever. So that again could be interesting. But again, an officer, probably kneeling. Yeah, it would make sense. It would make sense. I'm not sure if you've gone, Helen, but good luck tonight. And hopefully we'll catch up with you soon. I'll just do a quick couple of ones here. Evening, Doug. Hope all's good with you. And we miss you too, Tina. Hopefully we'll catch up soon. But it's a fascinating location. And we, as you were saying, Kai, there seems to be the two main individuals in there. And we do know that one of them is not happy and is very protective of the house, as you say. We know from previous, one of the reasons we went there was because a group of people went in, not investigators, who didn't believe, but by the time they left in a hurry, they did believe. So that was interesting. And again, the owner was telling us that his dog, who previously has gone into that cottage with no problems at all, last time went in, was totally spooked out and jumped out the window and would not come back in. So really interesting.
There is something about that location. It does draw you in. It makes you want to go back. And we can't wait to go back there again and give another bash.
Yeah, so we're going to be brave and we're going to do an after dark. Now, there's no electricity in this place. It's in the middle of nowhere, so there's no street lights or anything like that. But we, at the end of our last visit, we're standing and going, do you know what? But this place takes on a totally different atmosphere after dark. Yeah, let's do it. So we are going to go back in, hopefully in the next couple of months, and see what it's like after dark. I'm really looking forward to it. It's a fascinating place, as you say, Kyra. I'd say we'd like to use a dog sometime in an investigation. Well, Lynn, we're possibly going down the feline route.
Yeah, I think she's upstairs.
if she can find it.
I'm not taking these two because they're too loud. Seska Disney yowl.
If Bruce liked the car, we'd take it, but
Hearts loves our adventures.
Next says bring Mia. So we have been speaking, haven't we? Lynn has suggested that we bring the cat.
Speak the devil. Hello.
Oh well. Cat, hang on a minute.
Come here.
Right, my work is done for the evening. Mia's cat. Cool. Yeah. So we're all
leads. That's good.
Yeah. So we'll definitely. I think we definitely want to try that and see. As I said, we're definitely looking to go after dark, and we might even do a live after dark. Yeah. Don't know, Richie. Are you going to have your night vision by then?
Oh, I don't know I'll have it in time for that.
No.
I'm afraid, because of the holiday we've got coming up in October.
Yeah.
You never know.
Never know. Hopefully.
Yeah, I'll have to dust off. I've got a night vision camera, so I'll dust it off. But it's one of the cheaper ones, so we'll see how it goes. But yeah, so can't wait to go back there. Now, not kind of paranormal, but from an interesting point. But you guys went to Crafters Castle as well, which is supposed to be haunted.
Yeah.
It was kind of paranormal related.
Well, I got my first paranormal experience at Crawfish when I was 9 years old, so about 22 years ago. What happened was I was on a school trip from my school. We went to Crawfish Castle for a day. In the Great Hall, I saw a woman, like a grey apparition, just full body. I waved at her, and she had this like silver platter, so it's like she was like serving the guests or whoever was staying there. It just felt so real, and she just walked past, and I waved, and the rest of the kids were looking at me, being like, "Who are you waving to?" And I said to my teacher, "Oh, I was just waving at the person that was walking by," and she goes, "There's no one there." And the rest of the kids were just like laughing at me, like,
As they do.
yeah, because we're I think it was like primary school, like when when that happened. So so when we went back a couple of weeks ago, it just felt like, well, you managed to pick up something, did you?
Yeah, I mean, I knew that that's where he'd had his first experience, but he never told me about what he'd seen, and he'd been talking about it with a family member, and came back home and said that they've been discussing it. And I don't make a point of reading people I know, because I think you know so much about them, it's just not a good idea anyway. And I saw what he saw, and when I described what I was seeing, it hit him with a wave of emotions, because how could I possibly have known that? He'd never told me about it. And when we went to the castle, we walked into the Great Hall. I didn't know what had happened in that room. He never told me. And I said to him, "I know this room. Why do I know this room? This is where it happened, isn't it?" But picked up on a few things while we were there. It's a really nice castle. The live that we did was only a fraction of the gardens we discovered after we came off of being live.
Massive garden.
But everything that I picked up, the NTS guys kind of confirmed afterwards, or like the history cards dotted about when we actually went back and read them confirmed it. So it's a really interesting place. There's a green lady in the nursery who's supposed to be seen quite a lot by visitors, and there is also another spirit, and that's who I picked up on, not the green lady. So that's quite interesting, because we didn't know about that. But it was the NTS guide that confirmed it in the exact place that I picked it up as well. That's where that spirit had been seen. So it was really interesting.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Really fascinating.
Yeah. And were you on edge, Richie, going back even after all this time?
I will be honest with you. I was quite nervous. I didn't know what to expect, because obviously that happened when I was at a young age. So I didn't know what to expect, if I was going to experience it again or something else was going to happen. But I felt at peace. It actually felt like, in a weird way, that I was kind of like home. Yeah. Because that's where like my granny's from, Bankery, Ballater. So I've got like family ties to that side of the country. So it felt, on that day, it was quite peaceful. Yeah. It felt closure to what happened. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
Cool.
It's a lovely castle as well. It's definitely worth a visit if you get the opportunity. The staff there are really, really friendly, really nice. They've got a great coffee shop and everything there. There was actually a little farmer's market on when we went.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
It's a good day out.
Yeah. And we got brilliant weather for it, which was nice.
Yeah, the weather looked good on the video. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was about 20.
Yeah, something. It was really hot.
Yeah. Nothing compared to what Lynn's dealt with in the last week, but
But even paranormal aside, if you're just looking for a place to explore, it's a good day out. Definitely.
Yeah. Got a nice wee cafe bit as well, I think, doesn't it? If I remember right.
Yeah. No, it's really good. They've got a cafe, a gift shop. The gardens are massive. The amount of time we spent in there alone.
You can spend a whole day in the gardens, really.
Yeah. It's really, really nice. So definitely recommend a visit there.
Yeah, definitely try to be planning. After seeing your videos and photographs, definitely planning a trip.
It's not the easiest road to drive to get there. No, it's pretty much single track most of the way. No matter which direction we'd have gone from, it was going to be a ropey drive, but it was still worth it.
Yeah, sorry, I'm from the Highland. I'm from the Highlands. I know.
Yeah.
We used to single track roads.
Yeah, but I wouldn't fancy it in winter, but this time of year it's fine.
Yeah, historic Scotland. Yeah, yeah. Sadly, they just don't seem interested. I think National Trust are much more open,
Yeah.
and that seem to have a much more open policy on. I think it's almost site by site, isn't it? Policy on things. So
It's up to the managers.
yeah, that is cool. I was doing a search. I was actually doing a search of where's Crafters Castle, and I put it into Google Maps. And I know Lynn's always saying to me, "Oh, there's so many castles in Aberdeenshire."
Country.
The map just exploded with castles.
Can't throw a stick in a castle, either full built or derelict.
Yeah.
We passed quite a few just on our journey.
Yeah. Craigavar Castle.
Yeah, we passed Craigavar.
That's one of my favourites. It's a tiny, tiny castle though. It's just like one room on top of another kind of thing. It's like the story goes. It's the inspiration for Walt Disney's castle in Disneyland.
Oh, okay.
I could see that.
Yeah, I can see it now.
Yeah, they keep having to reharl it because they use the traditional materials because it just opened again this year. And it just opened about 10 years ago for the last reharling, so it's not lasting very long between reharlings. But it's a cracking wee castle to go round. It's my favourite.
Yeah, we are lucky, aren't we? Definitely are lucky. So yeah, I'm just trying to think what else. I've actually got a list. I'm a bit better prepared than I normally are. So obviously Craig's my son. He's joined us. He was with us at the farmhouse. We also went out before that to the Prisoner's Stone at Culloden, which is one I've always wanted to take some equipment to. So we just thought, right, we'll go and we're both big, fascinated with Jacobites and whatnot. So we thought we'll go up there and we'll have a wee session. And it was really, really interesting on the rods. We appeared to pick up on a mother who was looking for her son. So it was, as I said, she didn't appear to be connected particularly to the stone. It hadn't happened to the stone, but he'd been at the battle. So yeah, it was interesting session. We tried the new EMF meter up there as well, so we did some testing with it, and we've had that out now on a few occasions. We've got some really interesting spikes. We've got a couple of spikes at the farmhouse. We did a private case the other week as well. We got some really interesting spikes when certain words were said, which was really interesting. I've never seen a meter react. What appears to react, we were getting spikes when certain words were being said, which was it was interesting. I'm going to follow that one up.
That meter is brilliant. That's why you decided to go and order one. It was just delivered today.
Yeah. Nicola's asking what EMF have you got? I'm hoping Kylie's got hers handy because
sitting right here.
There we go.
There we go. That's it there. Hopefully you can see that. There we go. Did you know that you can make the alert a ghost sound?
Oh no, I didn't.
Yeah, you can. Ours is set to go. Yeah.
No, it's a really good meter, Nicola. Actually, Stefan, he had one, and that was the reason I got one, because when he was over here last time, we did Clava, and he had one, and it gives you a bit more information than the standard meter. It's also got a data logger on it, but it will actually tell you if someone's got if there's a cell tower close by, or there's somebody's phone's on. It will detect that and tell you. Yeah. I'll send you a link. Now, I don't know how much Kylie and Richie paid for theirs. I know I managed to get an Amazon deal.
Not that deal.
Not that deal, Liam.
Damn. But it's still cheaper than you know, a lot of the models for what you're getting. I think it's a good price even at full price. But yeah, it's
definitely worth the money, I think, especially that kind of EMF, especially with telling you where it's come from as well. It is worth paying a little bit of money for with that, definitely.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, I was just lucky that it came up on the deals, and when it came up on the deals, I thought, well, I'd be stupid not to at that point. But I think even at full price, it's a bargain.
I think it's a game changer as well. Looking forward, using
even little things like we were surprised how much it was radio frequency, wasn't it? It was coming off of my Apple Watch. It was crazy. See what was coming off of it, and that was without doing anything with it, not making any calls or anything. So,
yeah. No, because we did that. When we were out at the Prisoner Stone, we would like leave our phones on, and sure enough, it's picking it up. And whatnot. But since we switched our phones onto airplane mode, that was it. There was nothing, absolutely nothing. So yeah, really, really, really interesting, and a really worthwhile piece of kit. So yeah, Nicola, I'll send that link, if not tonight, tomorrow to you. Definitely. Has anyone got the K2? Yeah, we've got the iconic K2s. Yeah, that's one of the reasons we bought the new EMF meters.
Yeah, we discovered ours is one of the USA ones, and they're extra sensitive. So
yeah, I'll send it to you as well, Highland. The K2s. I mean, they're great for events and whatnot, and they're really visual, which is really, really good. But the EMF now allows us to basically, find out if there's any shenanigans going on, basically, and ensure that everybody's mobiles are off and that there's no masts or anything close by. So, yeah, it's I think it's, as Richie says, it's a bit of a game changer. And that you're not left searching around looking for what the possible source is. In a lot of cases, you're getting told. And as I say, since I've been using it, I've had the odd really interesting strong spike, and then nothing else, which is really interesting as well. So it doesn't seem to be sensitive at all. But yeah, it's picked up a few interesting things since I've started using it. So we're looking forward to using that. Definitely. And you guys got a new audio recorder as well. So we'll see how it goes against the old archaic one that I use.
I say we figured it might be a bit better at picking up if people are hearing things on the spot, because you're walking around with a set of headphones on, so you're hearing it in that moment through the audio recorder. So fingers crossed we're able to identify or debunk things on the spot rather than having to sit through ages listening to footage.
Audio recordings.
I'm all for that. Well, we got an interesting one at the farmhouse. So yeah, it's on audio. What appears to be a name.
Would have been interesting to see if we could have picked up military boots footsteps in the farmhouse.
Yeah,
that we picked up. That would have been interesting if we could have caught that. But hopefully next time.
Yeah.
Might be an idea. I've got just a bog standard digital recorder, so it might be an idea to leave some of them just lying in a room. Run.
Yeah, definitely. And the one thing I will say is, even though that property is actually quite big, the noise pollution from, and I'm the first to criticize team members for being noisy, but you can hear me talking in the other room. So yeah, I think we're going to have to be a bit more disciplined going forward when we're doing our audio sessions, when there's two groups operating.
I was thinking with audio things as well, Liam. How do you feel about the Zoom? Would it be just for team investigations, or even doing it with public? Or should we just leave it with team investigations? I don't know how you want to.
I think we'll see how it goes. I think we've got
You know,
to
goes
try
with
and
the
test.
team.
Yeah, we've got to test it ourselves and
Yeah.
see.
Because I just thought with myself, like I thought maybe with loads of gas and everything, it'll be too much noise pollution with everybody moving about. But you know,
yeah, it's always a challenge. Yeah, it's always a challenge there. I mean, I certainly, when we do those kind of events, I'm more likely to do an audio burst rather than do an entire stick a recorder on for the whole. It's pointless. You're better to, as Highland says, tell people to shisht and do a session. You know, and no whispering. Absolutely no whispering, because I was whispering on the audio. I'll be having words. Evening, Janice. So yeah, it's but yeah, I think we just, as I said, I think with that we need to get out and test it ourselves, and then take it from there. And obviously we've got public events coming up, so though Castle Fraser sold out, we've still got Pool House and we've still got Down House as well. We've also got a friends event, so if you're in the friends group, we've got some tickets left, not many, but we've got some tickets left for that event as well. And obviously the other thing we need to plug tonight is that our open meets are coming back. So I mean, I know it's not going to probably be for you guys on the call with me tonight, because obviously it's in Inverness, but on the 2nd of September we'll be at the Battlefield Bar on Clodmoor for our first open meeting over a year. So really looking forward to that. We have been told there is activity in the property. It's not going to be a ghost hunt or anything like that, but we may take a few pieces of equipment with us and leave them lying about, as it were, and see what we pick up. But no, really looking forward to that. It's great to see the place back open again. If you get the opportunity to go out, take it. Like I said, hopefully get out before then and get something to eat. It was always good for something to eat, that place. So yeah, we'll be back out there. I think it's 7:30 on Monday, the 2nd of September. So that, really looking forward to that. As I said, hopefully get some more guests on. We are trying to do as many lives as we can. So if we are out and about, any of us, we'll try and do the odd live when we can. Anything else, guys, that I forgot about?
I don't think so.
HorrorCon.
And you've been doing your ghost walks too.
Oh yeah, ghost walks. So ghost walks are fully booked for the rest of the year. We have, I think I've got one private one to do. I've had a couple of private ones that have been cancelled at the last minute, so I'm not planning doing any more this year. So October will be the last one, just from a weather point of view, because it takes in 3 graveyards, and if the ground's wet, it's not much fun. And it'll be a lot colder as well. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Where I saying more weekend events. Just changed the back shifts during the week. Yeah. Well, we're always up to do things. I mean, it's a case of, especially if there's something that, people want to invite us anywhere, we're happy to turn up. So, and we're always plugging away ourselves, trying to get locations and whatnot to do things. So it is a case of watch your space, but we're pretty much, I think, at the point now we won't be public event wise. There won't be anything else, I don't think, this year. It's we're pretty booked up. October is pretty crazy for us. So we're all going to need, I think Down House is the first week in November. And after that, we're all going to need a good lie down. So, we'll still be around for doing private work. We'll still be on here and whatnot. But yeah, I think from an event point of view, we'll be quiet. And plus the weather, we don't want to be getting snowed in or whatnot anywhere. So yeah, we'll just see how it goes. We do have an invitation to go to Edinburgh in December. So if anyone is interested, guys, I'll speak to you offline about that one. Yeah, but yeah, October's always busy for us, and this year it's no different. So as I say, it's pretty full on. But as I said, Pool House, we've still got tickets for Pool Houses. If you haven't been there, I know it's a bit of a trek for folk on this side of the country, but it's a wonderfully historic site. It's also going to be the last day of the Mary Queen of Scots exhibition. And even since we've been there last time, they've got more stuff come in. In fact, I'm pretty sure I saw a pool pit being installed yesterday or the day before on their Facebook page. So we had some fascinating results with that in the exhibition last time. And it will be the last day of the exhibition. So, it's a bargain price, to be perfectly honest, because you're not only getting the ticket price for the exhibition and the history of the house. On top of that, for next to nothing, you're getting to investigate the house for a couple hours as well. So if you're interested, just follow the links on our events.
It also does very good food. We always get our lunch beforehand.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So it's, as I said, we're really busy. We've kind of reached the, I suppose, time wise, we're out. I think we've pretty much caught up on everything we wanted to kind of highlight tonight. Nay chips, mind. Yeah. But no, as I say, I think that's kind of everything that we kind of wanted to catch up on tonight with you. Thanks for joining, guys. It's a pleasure as always to talk to you. We will be back soon. As always, if anyone has got any locations or ideas, just DM us, and we will keep trying to plug away and get other events for you. And obviously, as I say, keep putting content on the pages as much as we possibly can. So a massive thanks to everyone for joining tonight. Take care. We'll catch up very soon. Till then, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.